ago. And basically what happened was, as we traveled around, you know, people would give us their finds, but also they would share with us stories about stuff they had found. And sometimes where somebody found something, or, you know, the way their find that affected them was as interesting as the found item itself. And so we thought, wouldn't it be cool, you know, to put a book together just to collect some of the stories we'd heard from people that we had met on the road. So we collected a bunch of those stories, and also we reached out to our heroes. You know, my favorite writers, artists, filmmakers, musicians, people like, you know, I don't know, Chuck D at Public Enemy, Miranda July, Charles Baxter, Jonathan Lethem, Chuck Klosterman, David Simon does that TV show The Wire, Reggie Cohen does that show Weeds, Devandra Banhart, Andrew Bird, Seth Rogen, Andy Samberg from Saturday Night Live, Tom Robbins, Paula Coelho, Susan Orlean, Sarah Vowles, my colleague on This American Life. You know, we just asked them all this simple question, you know, what's your favorite thing you've ever found? What's the most amazing, beautiful, strange thing you've found? And they all had these great stories to share with us. So I want to share one of them with you tonight, and this came from one of my heroes, Jim Carroll. He wrote The Basketball Diaries. He wrote The Four Centuries. You know, and he's always been an inspiration to me. And his story, it's fucking gross, so brace yourselves. But it's fucking funny, and it's fucking deep in this weird way. Just takes me like Mike Shank from American Movie. You know who I'm talking about? He's in the book too, right before Jim Carroll. All right. So Jim Carroll wrote this piece, and it's about, you know, this experience he had like 20 years ago. He used to tour this rock and roll band, and this is something that happened to him out in San Francisco like 20 years ago. So here's Jim Carroll, and then I'll get Peter up here. Hold on. So Jim Carroll says, back in the day, when I was playing rock and roll and touring a lot, we had this roadie from the Bay Area named Dennis. Dennis had a girlfriend in the Bay, and she had a friend who I'd get together with when I was in town. One time, me and Dennis took his girlfriend and her friend to a spa. They kept saying they wanted to go to one, so we finally went, and they did their thing while me and Dennis sat around looking at the clouds. Then we happened to notice that one of the things they offered at this spa was colonics. This is the service where they pump water up your ass and you shit all this stuff out. The idea is that it's cleansing for the body and the soul. It was expensive, maybe $100, and I knew Dennis was short on cash, but we were there. It seemed like the thing to do, so I threw down the money for both of us. Once they pump the water into you, you let it all out over a fine mesh screen, a net of sorts, so the liquid goes through, and what's left is whatever was on the screen inside you. The colonics experts don rubber gloves and sift through the debris and analyze it all. This is stuff from your lower bowel that you usually wouldn't be shitting out. It's the shit that collects in you over time. It was disgusting. The guy held up a piece of pork that he guessed had been in my system for 3 years. I couldn't have been more grossed out. Or more fucking fascinated. Me and Dennis kept marveling at the whole notion that things could stay in your body for so long. But here's the real killer of the thing. You know those little green plastic soldiers you can get a bag of for 99 cents at the general store? Every kid has them. They come in different positions. One's a sniper on the ground, the sniper kneeling. There's the officer with a pistol, the guy with binoculars, one with a bazooka. I used to play with them endlessly when I was a kid, creating little battlefields. All the kids I knew had a similar collection of army guys, and invariably someone would bite the head off of one of them by accident and start chewing on it like they were chewing on anything, and you'd hear that so-and-so had swallowed one of the heads. Well, at some point in his childhood, Dennis must have swallowed an army guy whole, because that day at the spa, while he was getting his colonics treatment, an entire U.S. soldier came out of his ass. Found it caught in the screen after we figured out his insides. We couldn't even tell what it was at first. Once they washed it off, we saw it was a full-on plastic soldier. One of my favorites, actually, the sniper, swimming along on his belly. Must have been inside him for over 20 years. The most amazing thing about this whole scene, it seemed to me, was the way it redefined that phrase, "You are what you eat." Dennis was always a nice, quiet guy, but he got fucking rowdy when he drank. He got up in people's faces, he got in fights. Now it made sense. He'd had a soldier inside of him since the age of 6. The colonics guys at the spa were flabbergasted. They said they'd never seen anything like this before. They found talons, bones, marbles, but never a plastic soldier. And the weird thing is, Dennis seemed to grow mellower once that soldier was out of him. I've always loved picking up interesting stuff, letters, pictures, old books in an alley. But that soldier, sopped with goop, caught in the mess screen and trying to wriggle away while keeping his rifle steady was one of the best things I've ever found. Carroll.